wait a little bit so that everyone gets in here. I'm so excited about today's live stream. Guys, you are in for such a treat. First of all, let me say that within the next few weeks, you're in for such a treat. Welcome to the XayLi show. So excited to have you guys here. My hair shifting out of place, but we are ready for it. I'm so excited. We have so much to discuss. Let me know if you are here, and yeah, say hello in the comments. So, oh my gosh, listen, you guys are coming in. Let me know you're here. Let me know if you guys can hear me well, see me well. Let me know all's what's going on, because we have some stuff to talk about. Today is pretty exciting because we're actually talking about your live show, right? So I'm gonna take you guys on the back end of what I do live and how I prepare with the team to go live, what this looks like. Yes, you can do it if you're a one-man show, so don't be worried about it. I used to do it by myself, right? So it's so exciting. I am so excited to bring all of this to you. But listen, yes, we're going to have some goodness going on. Oh my gosh. Hello, Sydney. Sydney said, I look really great tonight. Thank you, Sydney. This is one of the nights that I had so much to do today that I actually threw myself together. So I'm happy to hear that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hello, Javon. Oh my gosh. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to have you here. As usual, I'm so thankful for you being here with me on a Friday night, because guess what? You could have been anywhere else, right? All right. So yes, we are talking about shows where I'm taking you behind the scenes of my live show. But listen, a show can be so many different things, and we'll be talking about that in the coming weeks. So I want to say right now, if you're not in the Facebook group, I have some special things coming up for my Facebook group, and you don't want to miss it. So if you're not in my Facebook group, head down below in the description box. If you're looking at this on YouTube, or if you're looking at this on the Facebook page and you're not in the group just yet, I have a really special series coming up, and you do not want to miss it. So I'm just going to say that. Of course, I'm going to share later on some more, not today, but sometime whenever you catch it. But if you want to know before everyone else, head into the group. It's lots of free goodness, and you don't want to miss it. So guys, listen, so much happening. Okay. So first of all, today, I want to ask you guys, have you been thinking about, starting your own show? I want to know, share with me. Have you ever thought about starting your own show? Is it something that you've been thinking about? Is it something that you've wanted to do for a while, but you're kind of shy? Let me know down in the comments. Have you been thinking about starting your own show? And if you could have your dream show, right? So if you could have any show in the world, what would it be? Would that be a cooking show, a fitness show? What would that specifically be? I want to know. And then I'm going to give you guys some tips for if you are starting your own show, what that would look like, right? So we want to know things like, okay, like XayLi, what am I going to do in my show to make sure at least one person shows up? Because I like to say, if one person shows up to your show, you want to kill it completely still. So I'm going to give you some tips on that. And I'm just going to show you our process of how we do this thing, right? And I'm starting from the top as it pertains to what we do before the show to make sure that you guys are here. So I'm going to ask you right now to share this video. If you have not thought about it just yet, please share this video so that other people can see it. And come to the show as well, right? All right. So let me just get into some comments. Yes. Hey, Enrica. Hey, Merlita. Sydney said, I still struggle to get Ecamm restream in my Facebook group, Zoom, and my YouTube channel show up with comments. Ooh, Sydney, we have got to figure that out. Please remind me of that, and we'll troubleshoot that. Let me see. Pamela, hello. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited. Vanessa, everyone is here. Oh, my God. Yes, let me know what kind of show, right? I would love to know. I'd love to know. Javon said I'm live once a quarter. Javon, we could do better than that. Come on. Oh, my gosh. Enrica said that she would start a show for agripreneurs. Ooh, agriculture. That is so crazy, Enrica. My grandfather, his background was agriculture. That is really cool. That is so cool for local entrepreneurs. And you're starting. Guys, listen, having a show is such an amazing experience because you really get to hit the ground with your people, right? And I can go on and on just sharing about that. And yes, Javon is laughing because Javon, you need to, yes, you need to do this a bit more often. But I'm going to let you slide for now. But there are so many things. My microphone is acting up. There are so many things that, can go right and wrong with a show. Kind of like this. This microphone is just deciding that it wants to do its own thing today, but we're going to rock out. And I am going to talk about, making sure that you're not intimidated or afraid of what can happen on a live show, because I know live is intimidating for some people, but you can definitely take what I'm sharing and, make it great for a pre-recorded show as well, because the show doesn't have to only be live. We have different types of shows, but we'll be covering that later. I will actually be covering that next week. So I have a really special series coming up next week. It's only for the people in the Facebook group. So like I said, if you're not in there, definitely get in there. All right, I'm excited. So listen, the first thing you want to do with your show is ask a question, right? You guys know I do the Ask XayLi show. A lot of times we think, especially as business owners, that we know what people want to see. And that is not always true. We don't always know what people want to see. So we've got to ask the people, right? And there's a tool called Ask the People, right? That you can actually use to find out if you have not tapped into your specific audience just yet. You can tap into tools like these where you can see the questions that people are asking about most in your industry. And you guys know how I feel about positioning yourself as the solution to someone's problem. So making sure that people actually want to see what you're talking about or are interested about what you're talking about, and making sure that it's not only what you think that people need to know. Right? After a while, you start getting your audience going and geared and they're tuning into the show. Then you can talk about what you want to talk about. But it's really good if you don't have an audience to start talking about what people want to talk about, or if you have not started the show just yet. Now, because of that, we do a poll on Tuesdays, or we ask a question in the Facebook group, or we remind you guys to submit your questions. Anybody in the Facebook group ever seen us do that? This is all strategy. So we're making sure that someone actually is asking a specific question and that other people want to know the answer to that question as well. And then we answer it on the show. Let me know if that's a ding, ding, ding for you. Like, does this sound like something you would be doing? Would you be polling your audience? Would you be asking them questions? I want to know, right? Let me know if you've seen us do that. And when I say us, it's me and the team. I don't know if Gina's in the comments, but Gina is usually the one asking the questions on behalf of me, of course, because this is something that we really discuss. We know exactly what we're putting out there ahead of time so that we can invite you guys to the show. The second thing that we do is we make sure that we select a topic that is in alignment with whatever it is that we are doing in business, right? So we make sure that it has something to do with something that we have coming up that is really exciting for you guys. And you guys know I love giving value. So I like making sure that you guys are really interested in whatever it is that is coming up. The next thing I do is I make sure that it's searchable. So you guys know that I multi-stream my show. So my show is on YouTube, it's on Periscope, it is also on Facebook. Listen, I'm making sure that I'm hitting all points. Now, the cool thing about that is even though I'm asking questions to you guys or answering questions in the Facebook group, my YouTube people get to connect with me, right? And we all know YouTube can be a lot of pre-recorded content. So people love actually realizing XayLi is live. And that's pretty exciting. And I'll tell you something else. Because I make sure and go over my SEO, and we'll do a little walkthrough of that in a bit. I'll share my screen with you guys because you guys know I love doing that. What happens with those people is that I make sure that my video is properly positioned. Are you with me? Are you guys with me? Hit 1 if you're still here and you're getting what I'm saying, or hit 2 if you're completely confused, because I want to know, right? But that's what it is. I make sure SEO is a big part of it. And when I do that, what happens is my live shows live, guys. People find it. people are able to find it based on what we are talking about. So give me a 1 if you are, XayLi, I'm running with you. I get it. And give me a 2 if you're confused, right? So I see a bunch of 1s. So we're good. All right. So SEO, if you don't know, is search engine optimization. So I make sure, because I'm streaming on YouTube, and I love to tell you guys, I'm playing for the long game with all of this. I'm making sure that even though my live is done today, people can still find me and still get value from what I did live, right? So even though it's hosted in the Facebook group and on Facebook, those things end up, their lifespan is not too long. So I like to make sure that if I do it on YouTube as well, that life cycle of that video lives on. Meaning if I shared a freebie in that group, people get that freebie, right? Because I make sure and tell you guys, get down in the comments. The other thing is, anytime I say join the Facebook group, and that person or a new person looks at that video, they end up joining the group. So I think so strategically with this that my list is constantly growing. My Facebook group is constantly growing. My audience is constantly growing, and I'm giving value. And that's what I really care about, right? So that's why SEO is such a big thing. Definitely a big thing. Definitely something that we always want to make sure that we're doing. And when I speak about SEO, I mean like my keywords, right? So the things that people are finding me by, or the questions that they're asking, where I'm making sure that I show up as that solution. Right? So this is what happens. And then I make sure and send out an email to my list. I'm sure you've gotten those emails where I let you know exactly what I'm covering half an hour before the show starts, because sometimes people forget. So we use that as a reminder email. Now, because we do this show, it gives me so much content to keep sharing within the week, because sometimes people come to the show, not everyone stays for the full show. So let's say I dropped a gem or something, Gina picks it up, and we make sure that we're giving that content out on social media. And even me committing to be here at the same time every single week is showing consistency, girl, to my audience and to brands that are looking to work with me as well, right? So when we share that email on Fridays, we share with intention, and that makes sure that I'm still emailing my list consistently. Now, when we know we have a really juicy topic, which is every single week, because you guys are all here, I love you for that, at 7 p.m. Hello, Chandra. See, what we do is we make sure that we're sharing story reminders. We remind you guys in the Facebook group. We're making sure that you guys remember, guys, we have a date on Fridays at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Friday. We make sure that we're reminding people, and that alone helps you guys to know before you actually have it like, okay, we know we're spending time with Zay on a Friday. There might be people who have not done so, and they always want to join in. Usually, we have someone new saying, hey guys, this is my first time in this live. So if there's anyone in here who's, taking a sneak peek for the first time, let us know, because we would love to welcome you, right? And this is just a tip for you guys. Create a specific time so that your people know, okay, I have a commitment at 7 p.m. Central on Fridays. And after a while, you'll realize that, listen, we know each other. You guys know each other because you're always here with me. And guess what? Even when you start speaking up in the comments and you start sharing and you start interacting, other people are looking at you. You get what I'm saying? So that's why it pays to, interact as well. So you want to, remember that. Another thing that we make sure that we're doing is we make sure that we know the pain points associated with whatever it is that we are going to talk about, right? We make sure, hey, Cassandra. So we make sure that we know exactly what we are talking about and what the pain points associated with what we're talking about are, right? And the Jazzy Nation said it is her first time here. Welcome, Jazzy. Let's give Jazzy a warm welcome, especially to the people who are always here. Thank you for being here on a Friday night. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. That's a Jay-Z line, right? Is it Jay-Z? I think so. Girl, I think it's Jay-Z. Anyway, so another tip, guys, just because you're here, I'm going to give you an extra tip. I want to remind you too, when you know what your video topic is about, you want to research other videos, right? You want to research other videos because you want to see what did they miss in what they're saying, one. And the other thing is that those comments have such juicy questions that you can actually address on your show or on your video, right? And that's always so exciting. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to walk you through my back end of what we do. And you guys know I love Trello. Trello is my jam. Oh my gosh. Thank you for welcoming people. Hello. Oh my gosh. Tamika, hello. I love when you guys make it live because we get to connect and chat and all of that stuff. So listen. When we get into, getting this show out for you, we have a lot of pre-work, which is why I ask you guys, please guys, share, because we do a lot of work so that we can show up the best for you here. And so I'm going to share with you one of our boards that we use to manage the business. And so I'm going to take you through last week's show, right? And so last week's show, we did a few things well, right? But before we actually get into that, let me just remind you to let us know, have you been thinking about starting your own show, right? And I'm going to call somebody out. Matter of fact, Jazzy, right? The Jazzy Nation. If you have your own show, please let us know what it is. And if you don't have your own show, what would be your dream show that you would host? Or in all, what would be your dream show? So welcome, Jazzy, and I want to hear from you tonight. Now, what I want to show you guys while we're waiting for Jazzy to answer is just like what we do. So this is how we communicate and we make sure that we have everything all set for you guys. The first thing that I do is I figure out, well, how can I position this question that somebody has so it's super juicy, right? Hey, Gina. So listen, last week, I think it was Javon who asked this question, and it was so juicy that we could have done the whole show based on it, right? Sydney said, sup, Gina. So listen. Here's the thing. I had to make sure that I was really giving you guys exactly what you needed. So when we got that question, Gina and I started having brain fireworks. And for the people that are new, Gina is my amazing assistant, and she also manages social media. So when we get to brainstorming content for you guys, we get so excited. We get too excited, as a matter of fact. And so we have to have a place to hold that. So we have a board here where we get to plan out with different cards. And some of you have this board because you have actually bought it, right? And so that's the cool thing. Like, we actually use the tools that we sell. And I tell you guys this all the time. So what we do is we make sure we know what the title of the show is. And I do that through SEO, search engine optimization. I start looking for what people are looking for because I want my show to be powerful for the long run, not only for the short run, right? So I want people to find it when they're searching for specific things. The next thing we do is we make sure that we use those pain points that I told you about earlier, and we create a description. So in this description, you can see that we had in this video, we are answering why you should use a platform like Thinkific, because we know that when you're looking for an online course platform, you're thinking about all the things. So what we're doing with this description is we are using keywording, and we're also making sure that we're positioning ourselves as the solution. And I want you guys to keep that in mind. So I play for the long game. And then what I want to make sure that I'm doing is making sure that I'm giving you things that, listen, you can't get it unless you come to the show. And this is something that I want to teach inside of the Start, Shoot, Grow Academy. Just writing copy that's juicy and enticing so that people want to, engage in whatever you're having, or, buy whatever it is you're selling, and all of those things. So that's a side note to myself. But what we make sure we do as well is set up that video. right? So I set it up in YouTube. I make sure I go through titling, tagging, adding that description, and I make sure that whatever I'm doing, I'm also thinking intentionally about what I'm sharing and the fact that I always want people to join the Facebook group. Right? Guys, this is such good information. I'm opening up, I'm blowing back the curtains here for you guys, right? And so I add the link to the video because we know that Gina is sending out an email on Friday, right? And that she will need that link to send out that email for people who are actually opening up that newsletter and they just want to click right away. And then we get into Canva and we create our show notes. So all of these beautiful things that you see where I have the show welcome and I have, our questions and things like that, we prepare all of those things before time. So we make sure that we have all of that set up. Let me know in the comments if you are enjoying this, if you're learning anything that you can actually implement either when you start your show or now or today, right? I see Jazzy said, I started going live weekly, kind of winging it right now, but I told myself to just start and things would fall into place. And it's been fun so far. Yes, Jazzy, you definitely made such a great decision. So let me know in the comments if you guys are learning something new, right? Or you're learning something that you've never heard before or seen before, because I want to know if this is valuable for you guys, right? I definitely want to know if it's something that, you're excited about learning more about and things like that. That's always helpful for me, right? So we make sure that we know what freebie we're promoting and that we want you to join the Facebook group because we're thinking long-term as well when we're doing our shows. And listen, what I want to make sure that you guys are doing is just creating with intention, right? The next thing we do is, like I said, we attach all of those, or Gina, I should say, attaches all of the things that we brainstorm. She creates cards pertaining to them in Canva, and then we get this whole list in Trello going. Now, I definitely have my personal checklist for the show. I got to make sure I review the questions. I got to make sure that I prepare for you guys. Like I know exactly what I want to share with you. I also have to make sure that I figure out that SEO, and I have to prepare all of my scenes in Ecamm, or even if you're using something else to multicast, you want to make sure that you're preparing what those scenes are ahead of time. So sometimes if you guys look at my screen, you'll see that I have all of my pages, all of the web pages that I want to show you guys, they're preloaded so that we don't have to be waiting for the internet to load and all those things. I make sure that I'm preparing. Right? And so when I'm done doing that, I make sure that we have an idea of what freebie we're promoting. And obviously tonight we have that we want you to join the Facebook community because we do have an exclusive 3-night series that we're covering next week. And in the Facebook group, you'll get all of the dates and you will be able to attend. We're not doing it outside of the Facebook group. So I just want you guys to know that, right? To know that you got to be in the Facebook group. It's going to be an exclusive 3-night event and you want to be in there. So you can click down below to get into the Facebook group. And I also wanted to remind you guys that if you are super scared of getting on camera, we also have a free guide and audio based on confidence, developing mind-blowing confidence for the camera that you can get into. And I made sure to add those 2 links down in the description box, right? So wherever you're watching this, whether it be Facebook, whether it be YouTube, wherever you are, those links are down below. So see, I'm giving you guys all the tea, all of it. So then what we want to make sure that we are doing as well, after we figure out, okay, we know what freebies, I've reviewed the questions and I can check these off because this is done, right? I basically know it off the top of my head by now. I want to make sure that we go through SEO. So I see that someone just asked about SEO. I think it was, who was it? Latin diabetes nutrition. Yes. So for SEO, I use Two things for SEO. I use the YouTube search bar, which is free, because it finishes your sentences, which means those are the questions that people are asking. So I get into there and I see what questions are people asking that I can use to position myself as the solution. And then the other thing that I do is when I do that, what I'll do is look at the videos that pop up, because I want to know how I can make my video different. And usually it is different because we all do things differently, which is the beauty of YouTube. But most times your ideal customer or your ideal client on YouTube will make a choice based on the list of videos that pop up. So I make sure that I have a thumbnail that is poppin'. And we teach this in the academy as well, so that you are getting the right eyes on you and your business, right? So those things are super important. So I use that. And the other thing that I bounce between vidIQ and TubeBuddy. And these two tools are great for SEO, right? So they're great to go through and figure out, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to be found for, and all that jazz. But listen, the thing is that I make sure that I know what the purpose of my video is, because I'm creating with intention, right? Everybody give me an intention in the comments if you are still here and you're enjoying this live show, right? Intention. And so we make sure that we look at other videos, we can see who's doing what and how I am positioning myself differently. And, you can do that in different ways. First of all, by being yourself, right? Super, super important. And you also want to make sure that you list out what you're talking about. I always do that. And that helps me kind of plan for what I'm coming to you guys with, so we have a really interesting live every single time, right? And then I always make sure I know what type of video is this. Is it fun, functional? Am I engaging with the audience? What am I doing specifically that night? And I make sure that I set it in this way so that I can be found. So I see the intention in the comments and I absolutely love it, right? So guys, the next thing that I do is I map out all of the points that we are covering, right? And I make sure that, and I love this. I love that I chose this one, because some of you guys were here for this last video last week, right? Where we actually spoke about all of these things. So I make sure that I have them mapped out. And guys, this is a template. Like, this is created as a template so that every week we just hit template and we get another card with all of this information. This way we are moving in alignment, right, with all that we do. And so you want to make sure that you are ahead of time, you know what you're covering in your live, and that's just going to make you flow easily, right? And I like to say, if you are going live and you don't have support, like I have support right now, and when I say support, I mean that I'm actually doing a screen share with you guys, even though we are live. So I can actually depend on this to remind me of what I'm doing. So that's why I can do, because I had a lot of pages and screen shares in this specific live that we're talking about, right? So I could cover a lot. If you are just talking to the camera, just stick to 3 things. Like, you can remember 3 points in your video that you want to talk about. You don't want to overwhelm yourself, right? And so that was another tip. Remember that you don't have to overwhelm yourself. 3 things. It can even be 2 things or 1 thing. It depends on the time that you want to stay on live, but don't overwhelm yourself with lots of things. I can do that because I screen share, and I really do a production for you guys that we get to enjoy and that people get to look at later on, because we are creating with what, girl? Intention, right? And then afterwards, we make sure, episode production is all the things that we do. So we make sure that we craft an email. We make sure that we share with you guys in the Facebook group. We make sure that we schedule this email 30 minutes before. We make sure that we schedule on Instagram stories. Listen, intention, Cassandra, I love it. And so we make sure that we schedule a community reminder and that we invite people. And we have our standard show cards that we use inside of Canva. And another thing that I do, and you may not have to do this, but because I'm using Ecamm, I make sure and schedule via Restream IO so that I can multicast all over all platforms, right? And then I prepare my scenes inside of Ecamm, which we spoke about before. And then you see me go live and perform the show, and I can check this off because we did that and we're doing it right now. And then Gina goes in and she takes notes for comments that she thought, were interesting, or questions that you guys had, because we always want to make sure that we're paying attention to you. We do this for you, right? And so we make sure that we can take notes and repurpose or probably create another live show based on a question someone had, and I felt like I didn't have enough time to do it on the show, in the little time that I do Q&As after, right? And then we have an after show checklist, which is where we make sure and edit the show for repurposing. So I just saw Landon Marina say your cycle syncing info was everything. And I'll tell you guys a secret. More than likely, Landon Marina saw that on a separate video. So even though I spoke about it inside of a live show, what we did was we chopped that up and we repurposed it as another video. And the crazy thing is, when we did that, so many people loved that cycle syncing video. And if we left it in the long Ask XayLi live show, people would have missed it, right? So it goes back to SEO. People are finding that video because they're searching for, well, how do I work in alignment with my cycle, right? So that's what I'm teaching you guys, is what I specifically do. Right. And then we upload that show and do SEO on YouTube. We also, before, we used to create the thumbnail for the show after, but I do it before now because usually I create the show probably sometimes 4 days in advance, more than likely 3 days in advance, right? So that way people can see when they're subscribing, oh, she's going live on Friday at 7 p.m. and it's there for a few days. And they see it, and they're, you can click get a reminder if you're on YouTube, right? And then what we do is we schedule those videos individually to be released. Gina extracts gems that she feels definitely should make it to social media, and then we post and upload to social media platforms, right? So this is just our communication. Sometimes, we'll be back and forth in the comments on Trello. I'll probably add the video there. But listen, guys, when I say this whole workflow is such a game changer, it is absolutely insane. And the beautiful thing is that you can grow your channel and your brand on autopilot. Now, even if you can't go live on YouTube and you're only going live on Facebook, doing this still matters, right? So even if you're going live on one platform, doing this still matters. And the beautiful thing is that you have extra social media content. You can, read the room, see what your people are saying in the comments, ask questions, ask what do they want to see from you next. I always ask you guys that. Sometimes you guys tell me what you want to see next, sometimes you don't, but I always ask you guys because I want to know. It's about you. This show is about you, and I want to know what you want to see next. What are you interested in? What are you probably confused about? I love asking questions like that. So guys, this is my full live workflow. These are the things that we do before we even go live for you. And we do this weekly, right? And I wanted to make sure and bring this to you today so that you understand. There's more to it. There's more strategy to it. And I will be sharing that inside of our Facebook group. I'm hosting a 3-night event next week. It's not something you want to miss. You want to be there. You want to be there, right? That's all I got to say. You want to be there. So let me head into our Q&A section. And if you guys have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Welcome to the people who are here for the first time. And thank you to the people that shared this video. Definitely take the time to like, so that we reach more people. Right. Let me see. I'm just going to go through and see. Enrica said, XayLi, you should let us know where you find your dope earrings. I got these earrings from a girl. I think I have her tagged on Instagram, and I'm at XayLi Barclay on Instagram. I went to speak at a conference in Chicago, and she was selling these earrings, and I was like, girl, I need these. Thank you, Enrica. You are absolutely amazing. Sydney said, let me see. I do not have my own show, but it will be titled better. I do have my own show. It would be titled better. Ask me anything. Ooh, I love that, Sydney. I love that for 2 reasons. So she said, ask me anything about law school admissions. 2 reasons. You know, I'm very big on SEO, so people would find you with that title. And I love that you know your stuff so well and you're so good at what you do that you're just confident. Like, ask me anything, girl. I am here. So I definitely love that. Hello, Lynn. Hello. I am really big on SEO, guys. And we're going to try to get Javon to do this live show, this fireside chat, more times than quarterly, right? But I love that you did share, Javon. I really appreciate that. Let me see what else you guys are asking. Does anyone have any questions that you want me to answer live before we get off? I would love to. I love how everyone welcomed Jazzy to the show and Tamika. Let me see. Okay, I did read that, but we're going to put it up again. Welcome, Jazzy. We love having you here. Jazzy said she started her live show, so congratulations to you on your live show. I hope you got some tips here tonight so that you're able to, you know, definitely continue. Start messy. I love it. Let me see. Okay, so Lynn said, very valuable. I want to know how to get this card template. Lynn, we do all of our cards in Canva and we do them to the size of a video. So the size of a video is more than likely 1920 by 1080 in Canva. And so we create everything in there. So we really just brand stuff. So as it pertains to my brand, I create my cards and things like that. Oh, you're speaking about the card template. If you have my video pro planning and execution tool, it is in there. So I actually sell that Trello board because it's so helpful and it keeps you so much in alignment with all that you do, right? So it's a system that I created years ago and I started getting so much feedback about it. People loved it. So then I started selling it. And I'm sure that you guys have seen that offer floating around somewhere, right? So Lynn, that's exactly what it is. If you do want to purchase it, let me know and I got you. I'll send you over to where you can get that template so that you're organized, streamlined, and clear when you are ready to either go live or pre-record your videos. It's perfect for both, right? Jassy, I'm using Ecamm for this stream. And if you check the channel out, because I think you're talking to me from YouTube, you'll see videos where I share exactly what I use and all of my tools and everything. So you can definitely check us out. Check out more of the videos on the channel. Vanessa said, girl, this is definitely valuable. I can't put a price on it. Vanessa, I would love if you tell everyone what time it is, because I think you're in the UK. Tell us what time it is, because it just blows my mind that you always stay up for this. I'm so super thankful for you and for the fact that you do that, because girl, right? Pamela said, always learning. I love it. And she said, this is definitely my learning season for long term. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Vanessa, it's 1:38 a.m. Am I correct? Girl, listen. Gina, everyone is like, girl, I'm going to need a Gina in my business. 2021 goals. Gina is the best, right? Let me see. And I just want to highlight this comment. Thank you so much, Landa Marina. She said, your cycle syncing info was everything for me. I appreciate you so much for even sharing that, for being here, and for being subscribed to the YouTube channel. I love you guys. Like, seriously. Marie said, I'm Carla. How did you decide to switch to Restream for your live streams? Inquiring minds want to know. Carla, I actually, I use Ecamm via Restream. So I don't know if that makes sense. So I use Ecamm, love Ecamm. But I know for me, I think with intention. So I want to reach more people with my live streams. So even though I'm live in my Facebook group, live on Periscope, live on my Facebook page, and live on YouTube, if I was using Ecamm directly, then I can only go live, in a specific place. Although a little birdie told me Ecamm will be releasing a way that we can multicast. So hopefully that's in the books. Hopefully it's really soon. But I decided to use Restream because I want to talk to everybody at one time. So all these platforms, everyone is on different platforms, but they know where they can connect with me and ask me anything, like Sydney said, on a Friday night. So Carla, I hope that's helpful. That is really what it is. So Ecamm has a way where you can actually use Ecamm as a tool that you're using, but you can stream via Restream and stream in multiple places. Right. All right. Let me see. I love that everyone in here is intentional tonight. Yes. Kiki said, hey, Kiki. Kiki said, yes, definitely valuable. Just realized I didn't hit the pain points when I published my article earlier. Just changed it. Easy fix. Thanks, XayLi. Kiki, you're welcome, darling. Listen, you have to know the pain points of your people. What are they struggling with? So I love that you were able to update that, Kiki. That is absolutely amazing. Landon Marina said, I've been scripting galore and tracking myself daily and my eating habits. I'm on it. I love it. She's speaking about the cycle syncing video. So I broke down in there, when I script, when I'm comfortable selling, when I'm comfortable, doing whatever I do in my business activities. I definitely share that in that video, right? So guys, listen, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I think I answered this, Jazzy. I'm using Ecamm, but I'm using Ecamm and Restream. So with Ecamm, I can stream through Restream as well. But like I said, I have a full video on the channel on what I use and what you can use as well. Vanessa said it is Saturday morning. It's 1:38 a.m. Vanessa, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you because you're always here with us on a Friday night. Lynn said, so much good information. I need to get on and do my live work. Thank you for all of this, Lynn. Thankful for you and thankful to have you here. Yes, Jazzy. Oh my gosh. Oh, you watched Jasmine Star's video. Welcome. I'm happy to have you here. Yes, I did the Jasmine Star podcast this week. It was absolutely amazing. I love Jasmine, and listen, it was epic. If you guys have not listened to it, I shared it in the Facebook group, and I shared it in my YouTube community tab as well, and on Instagram, because Jasmine is absolutely amazing at what she does. I had to let her know that podcast interview was one of the best, or if not the best, meaning that the way she interviewed was so good. You didn't even realize she was asking you a question. Like, that is definitely a skill, and I had to give her props for that because, listen, she is amazing, right? So guys, listen. I'm so thankful for you being here. If you're not in the Facebook group just yet, definitely head down below and join us in there. You're in for a special, really special treat next week. Like I said, we're doing a 3-night series. It's a huge event. You want to be there because whenever I do events like those, they're really, really jam-packed with value. It's definitely going to take you to the next level in your video journey because I'm sharing some stuff that I have never shared before. And when I say that, I'm serious. Like, if you guys think you're getting goodness on the free, listen, when I say I put a lot into my free events, my series, it's a lot and it's absolutely amazing. Vanessa said, come join the family. You want to be there. So she said it. I didn't have to say it. So guys, listen, I love you and I thank you for being here with me. I don't think you guys have any more questions, but I really appreciate you for being here with me. And yeah, I love you guys. And I will see you next week. Same place, same time. Take care, guys. Bye.